So just say, got it. Now it's official then.
Holy cow. It's so good to see
Holy
your
cow.
face, man. I
Yeah,
just
man, me
about,
too, dude.
I was so shocked that I saw you on,
I know. You were like, did I just got home partying the whole night? What the hell did I drink last night?
well, I don't know, our mutual friend, John Cameron. I saw him
Exactly. Yeah.
just a few weeks ago, and then he said, I'm going to go to Europe and I'm going to go see Iban. I'm like, no way.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. He was here for a few days, and
yeah,
man, it was great to meet up with him. And we went out to have some tapas and some
sure.
paella here in
That's what you
Barcelona,
do
and
there, right? Holy
yeah,
cow.
yeah, that's what we do. Drink vino, eat tapas,
I know. I'm
and
probably
work.
interrupting
And
your tapas time right now, I guess. Hey, like it's
yeah,
right
yeah.
about now is when you probably be going out, wouldn't it, or what?
Yeah, well, the dinner time here it's usually starts around 9 at night,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
you
Yeah.
go, yeah, and you can probably eat in a restaurant till like 12:30 or 1 in the morning. So yeah,
That's
it's not
living.
nothing to do like varsity, not even close,
No,
man. So
it's a little different times than
yeah,
varsity.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I guess for people just joining us here, you're my friend Iban Anglada. You're from, and you currently
Barcelona, yeah.
reside in Barcelona,
Exactly,
Spain.
Barcelona,
Oh,
Spain,
yeah.
Catalonia, Spain.
Catalonia, I should say. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah,
My
yeah, yeah.
apologies.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine, it's fine. No, no, it's cool.
And for those who don't know, Ivan's a friend of mine from high school, Notre Dame College. He came
Exactly.
all the way over from Barcelona to Little Wilcox, Saskatchewan. Cold,
Yeah, yeah.
frigid.
To live in the dorms.
Yeah, we were Badgers together. We were in the same
Yeah,
dorm, same house, and yeah, and you were a big fan of Jaromir Jaeger way back when, and you still
yeah.
are apparently too. Because
Yes, I do. I am. I just think the guy's, a legend. After still he can play in the NHL probably, in any team. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
well, it's kind of
got.
funny because like everyone kind of like Canadian guys always gave Jaeger a hard time. I think he was too flamboyant, or
Yeah,
it was
they
too
didn't like his
much.
haircut. I think his hairdo was not really,
Oh,
really fashionable.
hideous haircut, mullet, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But you embraced him unconditionally, and look at us. We're still, and he was pretty young in his career back then, but he's still playing hockey, and we're old men now, and he's still playing
Yeah.
hockey, which is just absolutely amazing. So
Well, I'm still playing hockey, so I'm not that
you
far away from him,
are, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, man.
as long as Jagger's still playing professionally, there's hope for you, I
There,
guess, right?
there's like a connection that when he's gonna quit, I also will quit as well, So
You
we're in
know
the
it's
same boat.
time, right? You
Yeah,
know it's time
yeah,
when
yeah,
he's
yeah.
Jagger hangs him up.
Me too,
It's
man. Me
time
too.
for you to hang him
Yeah,
up too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Holy cow! So yeah, it's noon here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's a nice day, and it's at 8 o'clock there in Barcelona time. So
Mhm.
we found a time that works for both of us too. I can kind of cut out of work a little
Yeah.
bit here. I can
Uh-huh.
take an hour
Have a
off and
lunch break.
take a little lunch break and have a good
Hmm.
conversation with a friend of mine from
Hmm.
way back when. Holy cow!
1992, man. That was my first year in Notre Dame
Yeah,
in the
you're
fall of '92.
you're just a year behind me. Did you graduate from there too, or what? Or did you? How many years
Yeah,
did you spend
yes,
there? You spent
I
three
was
years
in
there.
exactly. Yeah, I was in Notre Dame
Oh,
3 years from
same as me.
1992 till '95.
Right,
Yeah,
same as me. I was just a year ahead of you. So
3 year hound, right? 3 year
yeah,
hound, perhaps.
yeah,
Yeah,
we didn't quite make the 4 year cut,
yeah,
but well, you
uh-huh.
survived. Do 1 year in Notre Dame. That's pretty impressive. To do three, and I came from 6 hours away,
Hmm.
and you came
Hmm.
from like 8 time zones away from me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that
Well,
was a bit of a
yeah.
culture shock for you, I
Well,
suppose. Eh?
to be honest with you, I before I went to Notre Dame, I didn't know where the hell was Saskatchewan and then even
No,
Wilcox, man. So
why would you know that? Yeah.
no, no. So I think for my birthday gift that year, I had a geography map, so I was I was able to point it out to show my family, my friends where I was going
Oh,
to get my education and to play hockey, man. So yeah, yeah, it was pretty neat.
that's pretty funny. So you played hockey when you were a kid, though, in growing up, or what?
Yes, I did. Yes,
How did that happen? Like, it's not a big sport there. So how'd you get into hockey?
well, that's a good question. I started to play hockey when I was four,
Oh,
and yeah,
wow.
when I was 4 years old. Yeah, and the main reason is because my dad, he used to travel quite a lot for work at the
Oh,
time, and yeah, and then he used to go to the U.S. and Canada for business trips,
sure.
and then And then the year before I started to play hockey, he was in Montreal, and they took him to a Habs game there, right?
Oh,
So yeah.
cool.
He came back from that trip, and then he found out that Barcelona, Barcelona is like a FCB, Football Club Barcelona,
Yes, big
which
time.
which
Yeah,
is it's a club, a big club,
yeah.
which they have
It's one of the big
like
clubs.
soccer,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
which they have soccer, which is like the main sport, and it's a professional,
yeah.
and the biggest fan base, and entertainment, and with the
Yeah, it's
stadium of
everything. Yeah.
90, yeah, the stadium holds like 98,000 people, so
Oh,
it goes. Yeah, and then my dad found out that they also had a hockey team, like an ice
okay.
hockey team. So
Oh,
that's yeah. So he came back from the trip, and then he was like, "Yeah, my kid has to play hockey." So so he took me to the rink. Yeah. He took me to the rink, and that's when
that's so
my
funny.
how everything started. Yeah, I started to push the chairs with my skates on,
Oh yeah.
and that's how everything started.
Well, like we did too, right? In Canada, that's all
Yeah,
we did.
yeah, yeah.
We watched hockey and started doing that. Did you
hmm
get to watch hockey? How would you watch hockey there? Like
Well,
how?
yeah. Well, at that time, it's not like now that we have NHL app and we can watch pretty
Yeah,
much all the games. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But at that time, I remember maybe when I was 7 or 8 years old that we watched maybe like one NHL game like a year or two maybe
Right.
for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Those the old NHL action that we had here. Yeah, because here all we got at that time was only soccer, soccer and mainly
Yeah.
basketball. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a big international sport as well too. So yeah, well, that you definitely had a passion for the game too, I guess. Like you
yeah.
grew up and did you play games? Like did you there's a lot of teams around that you could play
Well,
or
yeah. Well, the thing is not there's only well probably now it's still the same. There's like 6 or 7 teams
okay.
because in Spain it's I mean to have a nice arena it's difficult
Yeah.
to for the maintenance and to able to
Yeah.
to to build one.
Yeah.
So we pretty much play in like small villages close to the mountains where the Pyrenees are. It's like between France and
Ah.
Spain. So it's
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
ski. It's like ski resorts
Yeah.
area.
The Pyrenees, I
But
guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. But I was lucky, Rob. I was lucky enough that when I turned 8, I started to go to Canada for hockey school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
there so
Yeah.
so there was a Canadian player that his name is Jimmy McDonald that he played in Spain professionally,
Okay.
and then he played in Barcelona, and then he got in together with my dad, and then that's how I started to every summer to go to Canada when I was 8 years, yeah, 8 years old.
Right. Oh, well, it's a nice excuse to go to a trip and
Yeah,
follow your passion a little bit and
yeah, exactly.
develop a little bit too. So,
Yeah.
wow, good for you. And then so then it gets. Did you go to Notre Dame for their hockey school as well,
Ye-
or
Yeah,
you
exactly.
did? Hey, okay.
I did. Yeah. I mean, my dad was in contact with this guy, with Jimmy McDonald, and he found
Mm.
there was I don't know if you remember this, but there was a Japanese guy in Notre Dame the year that I went there. His name was Kei Shirai. Did you remember him?
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple
So
Japanese kids when we were there.
yeah,
Like him and there was Shinsuke.
exactly. Yeah. So Kei
Yeah.
Shirai was living in Barcelona.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because his father was the director of a Japanese school here in Barcelona, and
Mm-hmm.
then I played hockey with Kei Shirai in the same varsity team,
Oh, okay.
and then he told me that he was going to we're
Oh,
close friends. I mean, the guy was not very like didn't talk much, but
right.
I guess we had one day a conversation about hockey, and that was
That's
that
it, eh?
was the day that I said, hey, maybe I
Yeah.
can go also to the same school that she's going. So
Okay.
then, my dad, he got in contact with Jimmy McDonald, this guy I mentioned before,
Mm-hmm.
and then he said, oh yeah, you should, there's a chance that even can go to Notre Dame in Wilcox because it's a very good, high school and with a good
Yeah.
hockey program.
Yeah.
So should be, definitely a good chance for him to get a good, education, to learn
Yeah.
English and obviously to play
Learn the
hockey. Yeah,
language. Yeah, and it was a good high school. Like the school is pretty
yeah.
solid. Like they didn't let you. They really focused on the academics there too. So for you, a
exactly.
great experience for you. Boy, you lived 3 years, went to high school there for 3 years,
Yeah,
in a different language that you're used to and different climates. And also, we met people from all over the world there too. It wasn't just these Spanish
yeah,
hockey phenomenons, but there was also kids.
yeah.
Remember Klaus? He was from Norway, and
Yeah,
who else?
there
There
was
was
there was a few guys also
Americans and
from Hong Kong. I don't from Hong Kong. Remember like Kevin Lai
Kevin Lai
and
from
some
Hong Kong.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm still in touch with him still. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, yeah, yeah,
he was
yeah,
a good guy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
um,
We're in through Instagram. You get to connect to
yeah.
some people.
Well, if you're
So yeah,
active and you're an outgoing guy, right? So you're
yeah, exactly.
more willing
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
engage and interact with people. I'm kind of that way as well too. So I
Hmm.
remember my team in, I think my final year had a guy. We had Klaus who's from Norway, and what the hell's this guy? This other guy's from North Carolina of all places, and we
Yeah,
had it
from
like
the
a
States.
Newfie, Lee Edwards, right? You remember Lee
Yeah,
Edwards,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
He's a
I talked
Newfie,
to
so that's
Liam.
essentially another
Exactly,
country.
man.
And then we had like some
I,
French Canadian guys and
yeah,
one
from Quebec.
Aboriginal
Yeah.
guy and First
Uh,
Nations guy, and we had people from all over the place, and it was very international. Oh, and Shinsuke, yeah, Japanese guy was on my
yeah,
team
exactly. Yeah,
that
yeah,
final
yeah,
year too. So we had it was really cool for me because I've never been anywhere, and so for me it
yeah.
was really cool. And then for you, you're part of that
You
international
probably
experience that we had there.
you probably heard about Barcelona thanks to me, right? When
Oh
when
yeah, I heard a lot about Barcelona. Thank you. Although and that's interesting because I still because I read about history and
yeah.
culture and that kind of stuff too. I've always paid attention to Barcelona. A really good friend of mine from university, he actually did a year
Oh,
university there.
nice.
He did a exchange, or not exchange, but just sort of it must be an American university in Barcelona or something like that. But anyways, he lived
Yeah.
there for a whole year.
Okay.
It was yeah, and he loved it. And so yeah, because of you and then him, like I'm very attuned, and whenever here I kind of pay attention
Yeah.
to stories and
Hmm.
history of Barcelona. So so thank you for that. That's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Rob, the thing is that the year that I went to Notre Dame, it was the same year that we had the Summer Olympics in Barcelona.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's why how come a little bit Barcelona became, open to the world and everybody really
Yeah.
knew where Barcelona was on a map. I mean,
I
like
probably
I
would
remember,
never have heard of it except for the
yeah,
Olympics.
yeah. Like I
But
remember
it's a
my
major
first year.
city. Like there's like millions of people that live
Yeah,
there, and
it
like
is, it is,
it's
it is now. But I remember in varsity, like the first month or two, when I was sitting, having lunch or dinner with some guys that I never met, and we just met in there.
sure.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, are you from Barcelona? And they were like, wow, Mexico, man. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, yeah, yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. Or even
Yeah.
Argentina. Or even Argentina, man. It was like, wow, man. Like,
Close.
not even close. Not even
Close.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Close. A little bit. A little ways away, but
yeah, yeah.
Spanish, they just say Mexico automatically, right? So, or yeah,
Well, they
Argentina.
even they even thought we had the same type of cuisine and kitchen. Like we're in
Yeah.
Barcelona, we don't eat like fajitas or nachos
Well, good
or
thing they didn't
burritos.
say
Or,
like Brazil or something like that too. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
really mess
Well,
it up, right? With different language altogether. So yeah, it's a
exactly,
different
exactly.
culture, obviously, but there's similarities too, right? Because
Hmm.
Spanish, but really, Mexico's been around for
Language.
500 years, right? Like
Yeah.
as a country, and a lot of those places like
Mhm.
that, there it's there's a split.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, we
They've
speak the
evolved.
same language, right? So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, even within Spain too, like you mentioned, you're Catalonia, right? So like
Yeah, exactly.
there's
Yeah, yeah.
significant divisions within Spain itself.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly.
Um,
Like for my,
yeah,
Barcelona in Barcelona, my first language is Catalan. No, this is what
Catalan,
I.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But if you go to the west of Spain, and then you have the Basque country,
the
which
Basques.
they yeah,
Yeah.
which they speak Basque, which is very old language. It's like a little bit. It sounds like Finnish a little bit, like Atapata Parka. So it's like yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, and
It's like
those
very
people,
very
the Basques are like very closely related to the Celts and the Gauls, right? In England and
yeah, the Celtic, yeah.
those in
Hmm.
Brittany and France, right? Those, sort of that
Yeah.
area. They're the cultures they kind of split up, and that was kind of the
Yeah.
Celts, which came from like Anatolia, so Turkey.
Hmm.
They migrated all over Europe, and then they started getting pushed out by the German people, I guess, and then
Yeah, yeah,
and in
yeah.
Spain, right, like the Spanish people kind of started evolving, like Spanish, the Iberian types of
Mhm.
person
Peninsula, yeah, 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 where we are,
cultures
yeah,
there,
yeah.
yeah, so started moving through there. So, And then like Portugal too, like that could have easily been a province of Spain at one point, but it never occurred that way. And then those, those countries kind of
Yeah.
evolved on their own. But like, yeah, but your Catalans, and there's also,
We have also in the south, the south of Spain. It was invaded. Well, not invaded, but it was the Muslims who were there
yeah,
in
well, the
the.
Muslims, they
Yeah, yeah,
ruled, right, for years, like
yeah.
for
Exactly. Hmm.
hundreds of years, right? So,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, they kind of went up to, I think Barcelona would have been part of that caliphate, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They were more in the south, right? And that's where they kind of got Andalusia, right? That's when.
Yeah, Andalusia. Yeah, yeah. Sevilla. Sevilla is like a very, very nice city in the south. Malaga, and
Okay, yeah,
then
Malta, yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then we have the islands. The Balearic Islands, close
yeah,
on the Mediterranean side, which
right,
is Mallorca, Ibiza, which is Ibiza is very,
yeah,
like a paradise, like a big club and disco place, but
yeah.
it's the big.
Heard they have like their foam parties and all.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. No, but it's very beautiful. It's like, you can go
Yeah.
there just, to enjoy your time with the family and go to the beaches. And then we have the Canary Islands, which are in the south, on the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh yeah, yeah, of
And
course, yeah, yeah,
and they're also quite popular, especially for like tourists from England or Sweden or Germany, especially for the climate, which is like hot all year around there.
yeah. I never even hear about the Canary Islands. I always hear about Mallorca or Ibiza,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
yeah, Canary Islands. It's pretty nice climates there. More in the ocean, but
Yeah. Well,
but
it's about a 3-hour flight from Barcelona to Tenerife, which is
that's
it's
not
like the
bad.
big yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like from Toronto to Saskatoon every time, pretty much. So
yeah, yeah, more or less.
yeah,
Yeah, for
more
sure.
or
It
less.
depends on
Yeah.
which way you're going, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's pretty cool. So, what do you do now, Iban? What kind of do you just
Well,
like sort of play hockey when you're not being a
yeah.
superstar on the ice?
No, 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 no. Well, I thought of hockey. I
What?
have to
Okay,
say
I'll ask you a different question. Sorry, I'll do it
uh
chronologically. So you went to
Okay.
Notre Dame. You were an
Uh-huh.
absolute celebrity there. Everyone loved you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Especially in my last year. The first year was, the first year was difficult. The
Yeah.
first year with the,
Oh God, I
with the
hated
new
first year.
boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
the new boy, old boy, and
You
to
got
be
rid of
honest with
that,
you.
hey? Like, there's no more new boy, old boy there anymore.
Oh, is it?
No more. They
No
said,
more. Okay,
like,
they got rid of that.
there's a bit of like just some light hazing, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
everybody does jobs as far as I can tell. They have their house
Okay.
leaders and they kind of
Yeah,
direct it
yeah,
more,
yeah.
but they don't make
Uh,
old boys don't do that stuff anymore, and that they shouldn't
okay.
because that was terrible. Like what they did to. Well, look at you. Like it was tough enough for me. You jumped to it's a different culture.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who are your roommates in first year?
My first year I had as an old boy, I had remember Dylan Livingston? He was
Oh
in your
yeah,
grade,
Dylan.
right? Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then
He's
I
a nice guy.
had Eric Soltis, but he was a new boy. Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's from Boston.
I forgot
Man,
about
I
him.
just talked to
Yeah.
him last week, man.
Oh
He sent
man,
me
that's cool.
a note, yeah, because
Yeah.
he's yeah, yeah. And then I had Kelly Bellimer. Do you remember him? He was
Yeah.
so
I remember the
those
name.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was from somewhere in Manitoba, and
Yeah,
yeah, those two
somewhere.
guys were my roommates my first year. So yeah, but Dylan
Okay.
was my old boy. Yeah, yeah.
And the
Dylan
second year,
was
who? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Dylan was not very very nice to me the first year,
Oh,
but
really?
but
Yeah.
he did it a little bit so I could protect myself. I mean, to stand up for myself. Don't take shit from anyone. So,
Yeah.
but I don't regret anything for him. Thanks to him, I was able to pretty much to look up for myself and
Yeah.
and then have a little bit of mindset of where I was and what I was doing there and just be
Yeah.
able to get ready for it.
I forgot about those guys. All those guys.
Yeah,
I remember them all, and I've never thought
yeah,
about them because they were on the
yeah.
wrong end of the hall. I know all the guys in my hall, my shack. Shack is
But you, but you were in my shack, right? We were in the same shack with Rod Collins, right?
no. I
On
was one over. I
oh,
was the one over. So, like Jeff Ulmer,
yeah, 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 exactly.
he was
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
college.
You
Yeah.
were,
So Ulmer and I were lived actually like our heads were like this far apart
yeah,
for
yeah.
three
You told me the
years.
best,
Like
but yeah,
we were
yeah,
always
yeah,
our
yeah,
beds were always like right
yeah,
across, but there's a cinder block wall between our heads. But
yeah,
he was next door to me for 3 years, but I was the next one
yeah.
over. I was in Sully's. Shack though too. So Jeff
Exactly,
Hope and then
exactly.
Jeff Hope Ross is on the other side of me. So like
Oh, of
me,
course.
Omar,
Yeah,
and Hope Ross were
yeah,
all uh, buddies, I guess, or I don't know.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
were beside each other for 3 straight
And
years. So.
who was your old boy then? Because you were the year before me, right? Or you were
Yeah,
in?
so you would have known Jerry Hayes. He was my old boy,
No.
and then Luke
Yeah.
Otis. He was a assistant house leader.
Okay.
Luke Oots. So we were
Yeah.
roommates second year, I think. No, we weren't.
Uh-huh. No, because you were there
I
in
think
91, 92, right?
Chris Goodstriker was my roommate
Yeah, 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 yeah.
second
I
year.
remember.
That's right. He was my
Yeah,
roommate second year.
yeah.
Smiley.
Smiley, Smiley. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody's
Smiley,
seeing this.
Smiley.
Hi,
Yeah, yeah,
Smiley.
yeah. Yeah. The Cleveland Indians hat, right? Remember he was wearing all
Oh,
the time
he looked
the.
exactly like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Exactly.
what a goof that guy was. And then
Yeah,
yeah, third year I had Corey Welsh was my
yeah, yeah.
other
Nice.
old boy in there. So
Yeah.
yeah, Lucas was there. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's who they kind of were for a while too. So you kind of remember these guys. It's kind of funny because Jerry Hayes and then Luke Hoots both. I went to geophysical engineering in University of Saskatchewan. After
Mm-hmm.
that, and then Luke Hoots joined. He was studying geology, and then Jerry Hayes came and he studied geological engineering. So I was in class at university with those guys.
Yeah,
Two
it's
old
a
boys. My
coincidence, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
very
It's a
strange that we kind
coincidence.
of
Yeah.
followed each other around. So it's kind
Wow,
of weird.
man. That's like following the same path, no?
I
Somehow.
guess so.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think
yeah,
we kind of saw geology as sort of the easiest science to
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So maybe that was it. At least I did. I don't know. So,
You know
anyways,
now.
yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
go
Rob.
ahead.
You know that you just mentioned Jeff Omer. Yeah, yeah. He was here a few years
Oh
ago.
yeah,
Yeah, because he was playing hockey in Innsbruck.
nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Innsbruck. Yeah, I remember he was in Innsbruck. Yeah, for sure.
So he came to visit me with Robin, with his wife, and
Oh,
then
nice. Holy cow.
and they invited me to visit them in Innsbruck. So I took the trip and I spent the weekend with them.
Oh,
In
nice.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was really. So I had a chance to see Jeff to play a few
yeah.
hockey games in Innsbruck,
I guess he
and
really
then
liked Innsbruck. Hey, like you said, it was a pretty nice place to be
yeah,
to
yeah,
play hockey, and he did it really cool because he played in almost every league imaginable,
I know.
including a little
Yeah, he
bit in the
played.
NHL, but he played everywhere. And the national
Yeah, yeah,
team was with that. Like the guy was well traveled, and I think he
yeah,
seemed to really make the most of his professional hockey career.
yeah. He
Um,
even played in Russia in the KHL in some team there, and then
KHL.
yeah, yeah, and then he played in Germany also for many years, also with Jason also. So
Oh yeah, of
so
course,
both
his
of them.
brother. Yeah, yeah.
So both of them, they pretty much broke the stats in points in the German league. So they're like legends over there.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, yeah.
well, the thing is about those guys too. At Notre Dame, like there were some really, really talented guys that went there. But the guys
Mm.
that we were in school with that made the NHL, although you were there with when Vincent Lecavalier and
Yeah,
Brad
yeah,
Richards
yeah.
were new boys, right? Their first year there. But
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
so I was
The
just
second year
here
I was there. Yeah.
before I was there. So, but anyways, when we were like, there was like Willie Mitchell, Brett McLean,
Lips. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Lips.
Lips. His nickname was Lips. Willie
Yeah,
Mitchell
lips. Yeah, yeah.
won 2 Stanley Cups, I think, right, with Los
Yeah, yeah.
Angeles.
With LA. Yeah, exactly.
But like those guys were decent. They were good players, like but I wouldn't call them like the most talented guys I saw there. But what they were very smart, they're hardworking. They're very coachable type
Hmm.
players, very reliable type guys, and they just sort of made the
Yeah,
most of the opportunities that were given, and they kept jumping up to the next level. NCAA
yeah.
for both of them. Both Almers had the opportunity to win a NCAA title with
Hmm.
North Dakota, and
With
that
North
got them
Dakota, exactly
noticed,
that.
right? And then they
Yeah.
got signed and started
Hmm.
playing professionally too. So like, I thought there was some more talented players than them, like in terms of pure talent. But those guys were, I
Yeah.
think it kind of showed what to me. I learned a lot from watching those kind of guys about how to, like, it's not always about skill. It's skill is one of many
Yeah.
facets of a not just
It's like
professional player, but anybody really.
yeah.
So
But they were also guys with a lot of getting in shape, and they had they had the physicality,
yeah,
so it was like they were pretty much, they had everything, compared to some other guys they were shorter, or they were not
yeah,
such in good shape, or spending a lot of time in the gym. So
yeah,
but they were, I'm happy for them, they because they were able to to play hockey and follow on with their lives after that.
Yeah.
So,
I reached out to Jeff Ulmer actually when I started doing this podcast because it's like, well, let's
okay.
talk to him. I haven't talked. I ran into him in Calgary. We had a nice chat.
Yeah, yeah,
One
he
time,
has
but
a place. I believe he has a place there. Yeah, he spends the summers there. I believe. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of guys that were involved with the Canadian national team lived there. Even like that Tucker's there. You know, a lot of hockey players live in Calgary after they're done.
Yeah.
But it was right after he was with Arizona. Then he got let go from Arizona
Yeah.
Coyotes as a video coach. I was like, well, it's a
Yeah.
good time to talk. And he's like, no, I'm kind of like trying to, his life is in a little bit of flux. And he's like, maybe later. I'm like, okay, fine. But I thought this would be a good time because you're not working right now.
Yeah.
Then I haven't got back to him yet at all. Now you got a job with the Abbotsford.
Abbotsford, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of people that we met there. That's a pretty cool thing about Notre Dame. It's like all these really interesting people, again, from all over the world that we got to hang out with. The guy lived right next door to me. Live next door to you.
And Rob, what's great about Notre Dame is that man, I still in touch with so many guys that man, I haven't been able to see them in over like 20, 25 years. You know, when Johnny was here a few weeks ago, the last time I saw him, it was like in 2005 or 2006. So, it was just, we got together and it was like, yeah, man, give me a big hug, man. I love you, dude. It was like, the connection in Notre Dame, some guys just like forever, and
yeah. Cameron was such a good guy, and we were new boys together. He was in a different dorm, but we had a lot of classes together and stuff, so we kind of became friends. But he was always really good to people. Like, I think he didn't really care about status. If he thought you were a good person, he'd hang out with you. And
indeed.
I remember that. Like with you, right? Like I don't think he really gave a shit about your status, and because we're always looking at statuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Boys. Yeah. He didn't care about that. He just like, do you think you're a cool guy? That's good enough for him. So,
man, after Notre Dame, I've been in his house like in Vancouver a few times. And
yeah.
Like he's been also in Barcelona a few times, and it's like I have more relationship with him than some friends here in Barcelona that I haven't seen in quite a life. And do you remember also John Milliken, man? He was also here two months ago.
Oh, Milks.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
We had our 20th high school reunion. I saw him there, so it was nice to see him there and a few of the guys there. So
I was so thrilled to see John Milliken, man, because what happened. I was with him, and I didn't really had in touch with him since the accident of what happened to him in Notre Dame. And
our grade 12 year John Milliken, who's my age, and we're new boys together as well too. He was up in the dorm above me, but broke his neck playing hockey. And
in Mucha.
And I remember that very well. We all do very, very well. It was like, gee whiz, like he's lucky to be alive, first of all, and then he didn't think he'd ever walk again. But our graduation, Iban, like he showed up at our graduation. Nobody had any idea that he was going to show up, and he actually he was there, and just we're like, holy crap! Like he came up, nobody knew, like none of the class. Well, like Dave LaRock probably knew a few guys, but like nobody heard about it at all. And he came up there, and it was like, holy cow! This
was amazing. Yeah, it was something impressive, and quite shocking for everybody.
We go to the same bar though in Calgary. Actually,
he lives in Kelowna now. He lives in Kelowna.
Yeah, I think he moved to Kelowna. But we were part of in our mid 20s. We were both in Calgary, and we're on the scene. And and so I run into him once in a while at the bar. And
of course.
So, and he'd be like standing up sometimes with his cane, and it just shocked me. I'm like, oh my God, you're standing! Like, I can't believe you can even stand, right?
So Rob, with him, the thing is, I had him on Facebook, right? So a little bit, I was seeing pictures of him, and I saw pictures of him like standing up. So I thought that maybe he was, doing some type of therapy, that he was maybe walking, and then he told me the story when we met in Barcelona, and he told me that he was walking for some time, but his spinal got a little bit complicated. Yeah.
But it's amazing, he shouldn't be walking. Period. And he is, like, he can do short distances and stuff. So, and he's made a nice life for himself, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, he's got like 2 children. He's got 2 kids now, and so
it works.
It works. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man, it was it was so nice to see him, and
Yeah.
like the last time I saw Johnny was what in 94 when he had the accident.
Yeah,
So
1994, and he left school, right? Like he didn't come back.
yeah,
So that was late in the season. I think it was like February or I don't know when it was. It was
yeah,
little.
it was a playoff game. He told me they
Yeah,
played in Muja
February or
and when
March.
there was a bunch some I don't know if I can say this, but a few dicks on the other team, man.
Yeah,
And they just, and Johnny was like the finesse guy and maybe the guy who put the
yeah,
points and the goals. So they just were chasing him, and then the hit supports happened,
yeah.
and that was it.
Junior B, the Jungle B.
Junior
That
B,
was
yeah, exactly,
that was
yeah,
that was
yeah,
probably the toughest, dirtiest league in the
yeah,
province that he played in. I was
hmm
surprised actually to put him on Junior B. Like I know he had the talent to do it, but like he
yeah,
would have been better off playing double A because
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
his,
yeah,
like because it's just more skill or it's different type of skill, right? Junior B is like you're playing against men, big dudes, and Milken was never a physical hockey player, so.
yeah.
Uh, well, I played him
He
all the
could he
time,
could
so
score goals, so he
yeah,
could score some goals. So, but
yeah. I played him the year before that, so.
mm.
Anyways, yeah, so that's pretty good. What other guys have you had? Any other visitors from Notre Dame there?
Yes, I had who else was here a few years ago? Bridget Cooney was here also in Barcelona.
I think she came after I was there because
Yeah.
Terry Cooney came in the year after I was there because I think
Okay.
that's her dad or something, isn't it? I think it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, her dad was the president there.
President. Yeah.
Yeah, in Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I
Barry
think he took over
McKenzie was president.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
he retired and Terry took over after that.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And then Tito Kamel also was here. Also, because John Milken put me in touch with him,
Oh, yeah.
and Tito Kamel was here
Tito
about
Kamel,
5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, yeah. And then
yeah.
he also told me the story about what happened with Andrew. I didn't really know what happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty tragic with his brother there. So,
Hmm,
was it his
hmm.
brother? That was his brother, right? Wasn't it? I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, Andrew. Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. He passed away. So yeah,
Yeah, there's a few of those guys that are not with us anymore. It's kind of sad to think about, actually. So,
yeah,
that Jamie Standish, who was
yeah. Hmm,
in our dorm, he was across the hall from me. We were actually,
yeah.
he's actually, well, he's a goofy guy, but he's funny as hell. But he
Hmm.
got into some serious problems too. So,
He was a Saski boy, right? Also, yeah. Oh,
yeah, he's from Calvington. He was, or no,
yeah,
yeah,
Calvin.
Calvington were home of Wendell Clark and
Yeah,
all those guys. So,
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Standishes, the famous Standish
yeah.
family. So
Hmm.
yeah, so
Yeah,
before I forget though, yeah. So after high school, then
yeah.
what did you
Hmm.
do after in '95? You
Okay,
graduated,
yeah,
and
I graduated from Notre Dame, and then I had a chance to go to Vancouver,
oh,
and
okay,
then yeah, and remember Terry O'Malley?
of course,
Terry O'Malley, yeah.
yeah,
Well, Terry
oh yeah,
O'Malley he put me in touch with the hockey team in Richmond, so I
oh,
was able to yeah. So I was able
cool,
to play some junior hockey in Richmond, and then get some education in a college in BC.
okay,
And then
yeah,
I was there for some time. Like I was not really happy, because I was not, I was like on a, like not like on a roster of the team. So they used to call me if I wanted to play. Like
okay,
so I
yeah,
was not really very happy. So I spent in Vancouver about 5 or 6 months.
hmm
So then I decided to go back to Barcelona, and then get my, start my BBA here in a
mm,
university
yeah,
in Barcelona, and
yeah,
then play hockey with the Barcelona team. So
oh,
that was
sweet.
my Canadian, vacation finish season after my
Yeah,
experience in Vancouver. Yeah, but it
well,
was great.
oh, that's great, man. Like that, you were able
Yeah.
to do that. What an experience for you to be able to do that and have that opportunity and take that opportunity. He didn't have to do that. Like, I don't think
Hmm.
your dad was forcing you to come to Canada playing hockey. I think it's what you want to do, and then sticking it out for that long is
Yeah.
pretty amazing. I think
Hmm.
that you're able to do that and probably change your whole life. I suppose. Hey, just the way you.
Yeah, yeah, big change. Yeah, especially growing up, as a kid, as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, and
Yeah,
the language also barrier that I had to speak in English for like 24 hours a day,
yeah.
7 days a week. But
Nobody
it was
spoke Spanish there. Nobody
no,
spoke.
no, well,
Or
no,
Catalan.
no one,
Catalan.
no,
Yeah.
no, maybe Spanish. There was a few Mexican guys, but
Yeah,
but
that's
but
right. Yeah.
but not Catalan, not even close, not even
So
close.
Catalan is that much different than like sort of Spanish in general, or
Well,
like I know
you
there's
know,
like Latino Spanish or whatever. Or,
the thing is that Spanish, Catalan,
yeah,
French, and Italian, they come from the Latin language, which is like a very
yeah,
old language.
yeah,
So pretty much we can understand each other, but I mean, there's some obviously different words, or especially French, it's a little bit
yeah,
more complicated.
yeah.
But Catalan and Italian and Spanish are very very similar.
Mm,
Ju-
right.
just with Italian, we just don't do the hey que fai, you know, without but
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
it's like yes, it's pretty similar, you know. It's like
yeah. Well, no one is doing that in Canada, but you were able to come home though, and then like you said you could go
yeah,
do some studies and that
yeah.
sort of thing. Then what happened after that? Like, so you went to
And yeah, and then after I finished my studies, I had a degree in business
hmm
administration.
yeah.
So I joined my father's company,
Okay.
which it was a logistics a shipping company.
Oh, oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. So I started to learn and
Hmm.
to do different types of work. For as a I
Sure.
was working in the air. I first started to work in the airport, doing a customs clearance, like duties
Oh wow.
yeah,
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 for
yeah.
sure.
And then after a few years, I was working in the sea freight export department. Handling all the shipments from Barcelona
Okay.
to anywhere that we
Right.
were shipping goods,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
China, Canada, US, Latin America. And then I jumped into the sales department.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pretty much I was involved with my dad's company doing all this type of
That's
duties. And
really cool,
yeah,
actually. You had that opportunity
yeah,
because you see, well, logistics in itself is so interesting to me because it's like everything involves logistics by some sort. And
yeah.
then if you're,
Okay.
like stuff shipped here and shipped there, and you get to really understand how the
Yeah,
global, economy works, really, and you get to
yeah.
see a lot of really, and then you're taking different types of jobs within that. I think that's really,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
actually pretty
With
cool too.
Incoterms and like key fried containers and air
Yeah,
fried. So yeah, I was able to build a career in my father's company, which he was the president in Spain,
okay, yeah, yeah.
and and then yeah, and then after like 10 or yeah, it was in 2012.
Hmm.
There were some big changes because we were part of a big logistics
Sure,
like multinational, with offices spread out everywhere, like
right,
in Europe, in the States, or in Hong Kong.
right,
So it got to a point that my father he had some issues with the owner, and well, the owner,
yeah,
the shareholder of the company.
right.
So they decided to split parts,
Yeah, as
and
businesses
then
do, right? Sometimes
yeah, yeah,
they
exactly, yeah, yeah,
evolve
yeah.
to a point and then they,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So so
change
so
again.
we
So,
ended up, unfortunately, we ended up closing the company.
oh, okay,
So yeah, yeah. So it got to a point that I got married that year that
okay.
we lost the company. Yeah, I got married, and my daughter was born that year in 2012.
Oh, wow.
So it got to a point that I took the decision to, with my ex-wife, that my ex-wife now,
Oh, okay.
and my daughter, to yeah, yeah, yeah. Now you know the situation.
Okay, fair
but
enough.
uh but I decided to travel for some time. So we were
Ah,
travel. So we rent a house that we were living in, and I had some money
sure.
from unemployment in Spain,
Hmm.
and then we had some savings.
Yeah.
So we decided to travel, man, for like 1 year.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we
Yeah.
spent some time living in New York City for like 3 or 4 months.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
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 why
yeah, yeah.
not, right? Gee
Yeah, why
whiz.
not?
That'd be a
Yeah,
city I would love to live in for, yeah, 3 or 4 months would be nice because you get to
yeah,
really
yeah.
settle in and get to know the areas that you like and
Exactly. Rob, the thing is, like, I've been in New York, like, a few times.
mhm.
So the times that I've been in New York City, it's like, you're there like for 4 to 5 days, and you're like you're in rush, and you want to go there, and you want to go watch a hockey
Yeah.
game, and you want to. So man, for me, having a chance to live there for like 3 months, it
Yeah.
was amazing. And I also took my hockey equipment there because I knew a Finnish guy that he played with me in Barcelona with the Shinning League, you know.
Oh yeah.
So the Finnish guy was so nice, man. He put me in touch with this guy that he was playing hockey in.
Ah.
You know, in New York City, there's like a hockey league in the Hudson Piers. It's like there's like a few rinks there in the Chelsea Piers. I don't know if
Okay. Yeah.
you've
I've never been. No,
so
but I know what you're
yeah.
talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was
Oh.
able to play with this team like twice a week, and I would grab my hockey equipment and take the metro to the arena, and it was amazing, man. It was like a dream come true for me, man. I was playing hockey in New York City. It was like, yeah. You know, I had my apartment
Yeah.
on my apartment was on Lexington with the 61st Street. So yeah, man, it was like, you know, spending 3 months in New York City without no plans at all, like just waking up in the morning and say, hey,
Yeah.
what can I do today? You know, and just
Oh man.
and my daughter was only 1 year old, so she was a baby at that time still.
Yeah.
So we, you know, enjoyed very much with her, just you know, walking with a trolley and you know,
Well,
going
that's
to
it. Yeah, you just take care of the baby. You can do that
yeah,
anywhere in the world, really. It doesn't matter where you are.
exactly.
So might as well be
Yeah,
in New York City,
yeah,
and because the baby doesn't need anything other than mom and dad, just to
yeah. The water
clean the
and
baby
the
up
milk
and stuff.
bottle and get her rest and
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
but like they have no school, they have no friends. They don't have to worry about like. Whereas now the kids, they have their activities
yeah.
and they're
Go to
people they
school
want to see.
like weekdays. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's actually not a bad time to do that.
No.
Pretty
It was a
amazing,
great
actually.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah, holy
and
cow.
then after that you know, we spent some time traveling around in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
we lived in Thailand for like also 4 or 5 months, and then
Yeah.
yeah, we moved around. We lived in Hong Kong also, and
Oh,
yeah. And then
yeah.
we also spent some time in Singapore because I have a good close friend then from Barcelona that he lives there.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah. Cool.
just enjoying time, man, with my daughter. You know, it was obviously it was not planned, you know, because what happened with my dad's company. So
But again, you
yeah,
took
for us,
advantage of it, right? That's what you did.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
you could sit
yeah.
around and sulk about it, or
Hmm.
but if you have the opportunity, why don't you do that? I think that's
Yeah,
a great idea. That's good advice for people.
yeah.
I think I wish I'd have done that a little bit,
Hmm.
at least once. I never traveled anywhere, so I don't know.
Well, you live in Saskatchewan now, right? So
Yeah,
you need to you
but
need
I
an
like it
airplane
here.
to
It's
go to
fine.
Regina or you know, to go even up north. You
Well, I was in Calgary for a while, and I really enjoyed my time in Calgary. It was a great town.
know? Yeah,
There was
yeah.
a lot of people there. I liked started cheering for the Flames. So I go to a lot of Flames
Mhm.
games, and um, I don't know. It was a good place to be as a single guy, just sort of
Yeah.
at the time, anyways. Too, and then got married, and then I
Yeah.
moved to Saskatoon. I went to
Hmm.
university here, so I moved to Saskatoon, and
So your wife is from Calgary or she's from
she's actually from Saskatoon, and then but
Oh, okay. Nice.
her sister went to university with me, and
Okay.
then in Calgary I met
Yeah.
my future wife through her
Hmm.
sister, so that's how
Okay.
I met her. So then I moved.
Hmm.
She's like, "I'll never move back to Saskatoon." And then a
They
couple
just
years
happened,
later,
right?
like, oh, I got a
You're
job in
back.
Saskatoon.
Yeah.
But we have my mother-in-law has a cabin about an
Okay.
hour north, and Saskatoon's big on lakes. Like everybody has a
Hmm.
cabin. Or a lot of people have cabins. If you don't have a cabin, you're usually going to the
Hmm.
lake sometimes. So
Yeah.
for us, we were actually going up and visiting the lake. And it's like, if you live in Saskatoon, you can just go there every weekend. And that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
We go
Good.
up there, enjoy it. So that's okay. But I
Hmm.
kind of want to do some better travel. I did a bit of traveling like through Canada and United States. But Ivan,
Hmm.
I've never been to Europe, which is crazy.
Hmm.
And it kind of blows my
Yeah, you
mind.
should, dude, man. If you come to Barcelona, you know, you're invited. You
I was going to
know,
ask you that because I think my wife and I are
where
talking
do,
about doing a.
where do I have to send you the invitation? Like this is a invitation.
Well,
No, of
we're
course.
talking about like we kind of wanted to go this year, but COVID has just sort of ended, and
Like,
kids
yeah,
missed a lot of
yeah.
school. And actually, just before COVID, I took my kids to Disneyland, where I'd never
Nice.
been before. And
The
my
one in
oldest one's
Orlando? The one in Orlando
in
or
California.
in
It's
LA?
actually pretty
Oh,
easy
okay,
to get
okay.
to from here. It's
Yeah.
like we go to Cal, we fly to Calgary, and then we fly direct
So fly to LA, yeah.
to LA, and actually,
Yeah.
I think we might even fly into Anaheim itself, which is only like about a 10-minute drive from Disneyland.
Hmm. From the
And
park,
it was
right?
wonderful. We did just before COVID. We had no idea COVID what it was, and we enjoyed ourselves. And now the COVID's almost done. We're going to go in the fall. We're going to take our kids to California again.
Yeah, you should.
Again, just they're kind of small still. Like I like thinking of Disney World, but I find Disney World Those are long days. Whereas in California,
Yeah.
you can just leave the park and go across the street to the hotel, catch a nap, and
Go
then
back, right?
if they're
Yeah, yeah,
younger, right, like you take a break or they go for a swim or something like that.
yeah.
But anyways, so next year we're thinking
Hmm.
let's go to Europe, but let's. I got friends in Europe, and
Yeah.
and I have
Nice.
well, I have you.
Yeah, of course.
You're
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know who was
I have a buddy in
you know
Vienna. I'm gonna hit him
do
up.
you
Yeah, like
you
Vienna's a
remember
beautiful city.
remember Sunil, right? Sunil Sital?
Seats is in Ireland.
Yeah, see, yeah, it's in Ireland, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's the one. I have a good friend. I interviewed her about a year and a half ago. I think if they're still around, they're in Copenhagen. It's a nice city. Wouldn't mind checking that
Yeah,
out in the
Copenhagen is
summertime.
nice. Yeah, yeah,
Then
it's
you can
nice.
kind of
Yeah.
fly to two or
Man,
three different places.
in Europe we have like these local airlines like Ryanair
Yeah,
or like
sure.
EasyJet, and you can fly. Man, I was in Rome in Italy like a month ago,
Right,
and I paid like 30 euros like round trip. So
right. Like so, once I get to Europe, so I get to say
yeah, then you
Heathrow
can
or
it's
to
easy
Frankfurt or wherever. Then from there, I can just fly
Paris
wherever I want to
to
go. Right?
yeah,
Like,
and exactly, and everything is like close. You know, from Barcelona you can
yeah,
go to Paris, and it's like an hour and a half flight. To Amsterdam, it's like
yeah,
an hour and 50. London, an hour and also 45 minutes. So
yeah.
everything is like close.
And what I might like see some. Like, first of all, see my friends. It'd be nice to see. But then the other part of it is friends can kind of give me an idea. Check
Hmm.
this out, or maybe avoid that, or whatever it is, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of check out the culture. And for me, like the museums, like I love museums and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, what I like to do is find sort of a nice pub or a nice
Yeah,
cafe, or just really kind of understand see the people a little bit, hear the languages,
yeah.
and
The culture,
listen
right?
listen to the
Cross cultures.
music,
Yeah,
or just stroll, get lost
yeah, yeah.
around,
Exactly, exactly.
some
Yeah,
city
yeah.
squares or whatever. Like just sort of explore a little bit too. Like museums are good, and I probably would check out a museum at every place I go to. But a lot of it, I want to just go visit friends and then just
Man,
explore a little bit.
Barcelona is very important in museums. We have
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about Gaudí. It was
Yes, I have. I'm a
yeah, yeah,
big fan of Gaudi and
yeah.
Mi Familia and
Sagrada Familia. Yeah, yeah, Sagrada
yeah, and
Familia.
the
It's
but he has lots of other
yeah, he has
projects.
The Gaudí Park, which is
Right.
also in Barcelona. And
Yeah.
then in Barcelona, we have this street called Paseo de Gracia, which is it's pretty similar to Les Champs-Élysées in Paris. You know, it's same type of
Okay. Wide.
with
Yeah.
yeah, with with the fancy stores and
Yeah.
a big walking area. And then there's two very famous buildings that he built there. One called
Right.
La Pedrera, and the other one is called Casa Batlló, that is Gaudi's architecture, and it's
I think he's the
when you
greatest architect ever.
oh
The
yeah,
guy
yeah,
just he brings those naturalistic forms and
yeah,
solidifies them and puts them into sort of a place. I think it's
yeah,
amazing. The guy. I don't know. There's a lot of modern architects that just like
yeah,
they
yeah,
kind of put things down and like what? Okay, does that even fit here? I know it's kind of a cool
yeah,
design,
yeah.
but I'm
It's
like
you,
he actually kind of incorporated these naturalistic kind of
yeah.
forms, right?
The thing is that the Sagrada Familia,
Yeah.
it's they think it's gonna be finished like in 2000 and I don't know, man, 2030, 2034. So I
Yeah.
hope I can see it finished before
Yeah, the
I
intention was like he knew like it was
yeah,
going to take over 100 years to build or more, and has sort
yeah,
of he had confidence that like what he was trying to do, there would be materials and
hmm
technology available to
yeah,
build
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah. But
design. Like he
100
didn't
years
really
ago.
worry about that, but that's the way cathedrals used to be built in Europe, right? Like Chartres
Hmm.
Cathedral took I don't know how
Yeah,
long did
yeah,
Chartres take, and they made these designs, but they said we're not going to live to see the end of this. And they
yeah,
knew
yeah,
that the original architects, they said, let's build this
yeah.
thing, and that's to make it last and
Well,
make it endure, and that's what
it's
that
beautiful.
was his
I
idea too,
mean,
right behind it.
yeah, yeah. It's funny because I live in Barcelona, and I think I was there with my school. When I was like 6 or 7 years ago.
Sure,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, I never been back, man. It's like
you might be an old man by the time they
yeah,
finish.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
know, and
Hopefully, yeah.
but you actually that it might be within your lifetime is actually kind of cool, right? That
Hmm.
this thing that's back in I don't know when it was turn of the
Yeah, in the
century, like
beginning. Yeah. In the beginning of the 20th century. Yeah,
20th
yeah.
century, yeah, something like that,
Yeah,
right? Over 100 years
90%.
ago, like.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Hmm.
he knew it was never going to be built in his lifetime
Hmm.
too. So that you had a chance to see it. Oh my God, that'd be
Hmm.
just
And then we
amazing.
also we also have this very important painter. I don't know if you heard of. His name is Dali,
Oh,
Salvador
well,
Dali.
yeah, Dali. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Of
Dali.
course. Yeah.
He'll,
There must be
but
a
he
nice
lives.
museum there. Is there a good
Oh yeah, yeah,
museum for
yeah.
him? Yeah.
It's in a town called Figueras, which is like around. It's about an hour and a half from Barcelona. It's
Oh,
on the way
okay.
to France. Yeah,
Okay. Up north there. Yeah.
yeah, but it's beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Then Dali used to spend his summers in a very cozy village in the coast called
Okay.
Cadaqués, which is unreal, man. It's very very beautiful. It's like
Right.
this. It's like this port, town, and very very
Mm,
nature protected, and it's like a painting. When you see it, it's like wow, man. This
right.
is like a real painting. But it says with some beautiful areas in our
That'd be
area.
something I would like to see actually, because
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
pretty exceptional actually. So I kind of
Hmm.
want to avoid Paris and London just for a little while, and Rome as well too, because again they're very very popular, and I just want to do something a little bit different um,
Well,
than
depends on
usual
what you
trips
want to
here.
do. I mean, if you want to go see museums, obviously, Paris, you have
Yeah,
the Louvre or the Pompidou Center, which is like
yeah.
a must
You can
visit.
spend your whole time
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Weeks there, really, if
Like,
you wanted
like,
to.
did you did you hear about like a few weeks ago? There's a guy that threw like uh, what's it called, sour cream to the Mona Lisa. It was like, oh,
Is that what
really?
it was? Sour cream? I heard
Yeah,
someone
yeah, yeah, yeah.
defaced
It was
it.
like, yeah, yeah. You just,
Christ,
yeah, yeah.
people like that wreck it for the rest of us, you know?
I know, I know. The guys at the owners or the managers, they're like really, really clever. That they put like a mirror or something to protect it, because otherwise
Oh,
it would
okay.
it would have ruined it, man.
So
It would
oh,
have ruined
okay.
it.
So they didn't get the painting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
No, no,
didn't
no,
realize
because
that. Okay.
it has like a screen so protects the painting.
Uh,
Because
from like
you
crazy
know,
people that just want to like,
yeah, yeah. You know when you go to this type of museums, they say, hey, you cannot take pictures, but everybody's like, like with an iPhone, somehow like hiding if somebody is
yeah.
looking at them.
Well,
Yeah,
think about like the
it
Mona
just
Lisa. It wasn't even that famous until it was stolen and it disappeared, right?
yeah.
For years, and then after that
I
became,
don't really know the story. Yeah, yeah. I don't know
yeah,
what
it
really
was became the
happened.
most
Yeah,
famous painting. It's
yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci. That
Mhm.
did, like, it's not like it was a worthless paint. It was a Da Vinci painting, so it was very very
Yeah,
valuable, but it became the most
of
famous painting in
course.
the world when someone stole it, and then they
Yeah,
found
yeah.
it a few years
It
later.
has
So
the value, man. The value goes
yeah,
like increases so
yeah, so
much.
oh, this must be good. And I guess
Yeah,
comparing to look at it, it's like it's not very big at all, I guess. But
yeah.
I
I guess
kind of want to see it too. But
I guess that guy that did that, he had a bad day or something. I mean, I guess it was
wow.
Mona Lisa's fault, man. Yeah, yeah.
I
She
tell
got
you, one place
protected.
I love to go visit though was Rome, the Vatican City.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
spent
You
like a
should, you
week in
should.
Vatican just walking
You
around, and
should, you should, Rob. That's a
you
must,
know,
man. You have to go to the Vatican
but
and the Vatican City and
yeah,
what in English it's called like a Pia Sixtina. That's how we call it in the chapel, no?
yeah,
The
yeah, the
60.
Sistine Chapel. So it's like the
Exactly, man.
16th chapel, I guess it is. So it's
Yeah, yeah, man.
a chapel
Every
there.
time
So
every time that I go to Rome, I always go there. I
you
don't care.
do, yeah.
Yeah, you have to pay like I think it's like a 20 euro fee to get in the museums, but man, that's part of history. No, I mean you just go there and look at the roof, and you're like,
Yeah,
wow, man, that's like just about you can open a bottle of wine and just and
just stay
just
there, right,
spend.
and just watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You know, try to
exactly,
go during.
exactly, man.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like one of
Yeah,
my kids, like they get another 10 years, and then I can get rid of them. Less than
yeah.
that, I kick him out sooner than
How
that.
old are them? How old are
The
your kids? You have
older one
two?
turned. He's 11, and the other one is a year
Oh, okay,
younger. He's turning
okay.
10 pretty soon. So
Two
so the
boys? You have two boys
two
or
boys, yeah,
two boys? Good.
they're
Yeah,
pretty fun. Yeah, my older one, he's a hockey guy. He'd like him, and the other guy's a
yeah,
football guy. Well, soccer. He
yeah.
plays soccer, so he
So
likes that too.
you're not going for the girl, or what? You just quit?
I think my wife had enough of being pregnant. I
Come
think that was
on,
it. And I was like,
it's
okay,
never too
fine.
late, man. It's never too late, man. It's never too late.
I think if we would have, like, we kind of, I was got married in my early 30s. I was just about 31, I guess, when I got married. And so
Okay.
it was, we waited a few years and then we tried and boom, and then
Just when
boom
the right
again.
time, right? When
And
the
my wife was
time
like,
came, right?
her pregnancies were pretty tough on her. So we're like, yeah, we
Oh,
don't have to do it.
yeah,
And the other part of it had sort of this deadline. Like, I don't want to have to be changing diapers when I'm
yeah,
40 years old. That was my deadline. So it was like, if, I don't know. But if I was in my early 20s or something like that, I say
yeah,
many
yeah,
kids. I do as many kids as possible. Like I think it's
yeah.
great having kids, and But I think we're getting kind of older and
But Rob, here in Europe,
whatever.
maybe there's a little bit of difference mentality with US and Canada. Is that that in the US and Canada you have children younger than here in Europe. In my case,
Yeah.
I had my daughter when I was 34, and
Okay.
it's not that, like, I'm not that old, but
Yeah.
like in Notre Dame, I there were some guys that they had kids when they were like 24, 25, or
Well,
26,
younger than
which, I
that
mean, it
too.
was not
Yeah.
really, yeah, it was not something like very, very uncommon. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
because the lifestyle is totally different. So.
Well, your friend, not mine, Shannon.
Hmm.
How's her last name? Shannon Nor Norman.
Yeah, Normando. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got
Married
her on
Bob,
Facebook.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right out of
yeah,
high
yeah,
school,
yeah,
pretty much, and then they had a
yeah,
baby. Like,
yeah. Just
and
like
then he went to
the
Notre Dame.
grad that
Yeah.
happened in the grad party, maybe, or something like that.
Well, I think they got married and then right away had a baby, and then
Yeah.
that was it. And then he went to Notre Dame. So and then I met him. He was at our 25th reunion. It was his 5th year reunion at our
Wow.
25th. Really nice guy. And then he got married. I met his to be wife.
Yeah.
And now they've had 2 kids. So
Uh-huh.
Shannon and Bob, or they're on their second kid or something. Anyway, so Shannon and Bob are grandparents. Their
Hmm.
their
Wow.
grandkid just had. So think about this. So they have a kid young when you're dumb and stupid and have the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Then the kid grew up and they're young. They're our age,
Yeah.
and now they're
Hmm.
grandparents. So it's the best worlds. Like having this little baby around that you don't really have to
Yeah,
care for,
yeah.
give them away,
Yeah.
and they're still young enough to kind of enjoy their lives. There's some people in their 40s that are just having their
I
babies
know,
now.
I know.
So it's like something to be
This
said
this
about that. I don't know.
this type of mentality that happens here in Spain also, but with the gypsies. I don't know, in Canada you have this type of, it's
No,
like they're like, like gypsies. They have like 10 or 11 children, and they get married very young, and they're
right?
and then,
Yeah,
then they're grandparents when they're like 40, and then over
yeah.
grandparents when they're 50, and it's just like a big
It's a
life
cultural thing,
family.
right? Yeah, and they have a bunch of
Exactly.
kids, and eventually the older
and
kids kind of take care of the younger kids, right?
Yeah,
Kind of.
yeah. Well, most of them they don't have jobs, or, man, they
Mm.
just survive out there, but they don't care, man. They have like 10 children, 11 children.
It's the way
I don't
life
know
is.
how
They
to.
just let life
Yeah,
take him where it leads them. Hey, like it's.
yeah, yeah. It's just, hey, it is like this. So yeah, like they can afford to send their kids to Notre Dame or to some
No,
good school, but yeah, I mean,
they just live their life and that's it. They don't
yeah,
let. Who knows? Yeah, it's some. Well, who knows? Maybe that's good for some people, but
yeah.
not me though. I don't know. So, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
been kind of it's good. Yeah. So you have just the one daughter then, or what?
Yeah, I have a daughter. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
this weekend, it was her birthday. Yeah, my daughter turned 10 years old on Sunday.
Oh,
So
there you go. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
same age
yeah.
as my
No,
my my second boy.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
what's her
she
name?
doesn't live. Her name is Alexia. Alexia.
Alexia.
Alexia.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah. She doesn't live with me, and she lives about 2 hours away from Barcelona in the south.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So we took the trip down there with my mom, and we spent the day, well, the weekend, pretty much down with my ex-wife and my daughter, and her friends. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was it was fun, man. It was worth the trip to be able to see my daughter blowing the candles, and see, man, getting older. That's part of life, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird to see that. I always wanted a little girl. I never
Mhm.
wanted a teenage girl. So teenage girls kind of scare me. So you're gonna have some
Yeah, yeah,
interesting
yeah,
years.
yeah. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that, right? Yeah, yeah. It's not on your plan, right? Your family
Yeah.
plan.
Where the boys are pretty simple. They're kind of stinky
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
fight and
More simple, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. More simple. Yeah, yeah.
Well, they kind of keep me busy. I coach my boy hockey all the time, and so I really enjoy that. And I stopped playing. Hurt both of my knees like early in my early 20s. Like, well, I hurt the one when I was at Notre Dame, and you
Hmm.
might remember I was in a cast for 3 months or so
Hmm.
in grade 11, and then although that one kind of fixed. They fixed it fairly well, and the
Yeah.
other one that was hurt in a car accident when I was about 19 years old.
Wow.
My knee got all twisted up in it, and it's never really
Hmm.
did surgery
Yeah.
on that one as well, but they it's never really healed properly. It's always a little loose.
Hmm.
PCL.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I continue to play rec hockey,
Hmm. Hmm.
for
For
a
some
few
time.
years.
Yeah.
But then eventually my knee just sort of gave out. Like one game, it just gave out. I tried to turn, it fell.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I can't play competitive hockey anymore. So I just stopped. So I
Hmm.
stopped playing basically, and I barely skated at all for a number of years. But then I had my kid, and he
Hmm.
got into hockey, so I get
Nice.
back
So
on
you
the
were a
ice.
little
And,
bit connected again, right?
oh yeah,
Somehow,
it's
and also it's another experience. Also, it's also a nice experience that you can, as
oh
a to see your kids play and enjoy it also as well, right? Going to the
yeah.
games or the practices, pretty much the same as I don't know if your parents did the same with you when you were a kid,
My
right?
dad
When you
always
were growing up.
he coached
Yeah,
us, and I always appreciate it. Like I really appreciate the fact that he took the time to do it. And for me, it's that's just what you do. You just sort of step up
yeah,
because if you don't step up, you know, somebody has to do it, and
yeah.
might as well be me. So my kid, at least, like he's going to have someone who's really dedicated, and in my mind, anyways, and going to
Hmm.
give him the best kind of coaching experience he could possibly get. He's not an
Hmm.
elite player or anything, but we have fun, and I always encourage having fun with these kids and teaching them good
Hmm.
lessons, and you know,
Yeah,
being disappointed. Like if you lose a game, you still cheer on your
yeah, yeah.
guys
So,
and
but yeah, yeah. Hey,
all those
one game at
sports.
one game at a time, right? One game at a
Yeah.
time, and focus on the next one.
And the other kid, I coached him community soccer, but I don't know anything about soccer. So
Yeah.
we got him into a local
Send
club,
him
and
to Barcelona. Send him to
I
Barcelona.
should.
Soccer.
And he
Here's
does.
the next sport. Yeah.
But we have like professional coaches now in this club, which is kind of nice. Like they just coach everybody in the club, and it's better because I'm not really much, and he's actually
Yeah.
improving his game, which is really
Oh,
nice to see.
good.
So
Well. Now Canada
yeah.
qualified for the World Cup, so I don't know if that's a big thing for.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
the World Cup for the first time
Yeah.
in a long
Oh,
time.
it's good to see. Good for you, man. Yeah, yeah, man. I was cheering
Yeah,
for Canada. When I don't know if they played Mexico. I can't remember who they played that game, but they have some good players. They have one very good player. He's playing in Alfonso Davies. He's playing in
yeah,
Munich.
yeah. Munich,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah.
well,
They beat everybody. They're the class of their conference. Like
yeah,
which is pretty amazing. Like Canada, like
and
usually looks to try to maybe squeak in, but no, they
yeah,
were the best team.
and the
No,
women too, right? The women they won
yeah,
the Olympics, right, last summer, man. So
yeah. They
yeah,
stole. Oh,
for
that was
them,
beautiful. Yeah,
that was amazing. Yeah,
that was
so
nice.
happy for them. Yeah, yeah. So glad for the women's
Yeah, they're
team. Yeah,
tremendous athletes, right? So yeah, I think it's picking up.
indeed.
Saskatoon, even we're getting a professional soccer team. There's a Canadian soccer league starting, sort of
Okay.
step below, obviously, than the
Yeah,
Major League Soccer, but
yeah,
pretty good. And there's actually homegrown talent. A friend of mine is it's a good friend of mine I grew up with. She married this guy who was the university head coach, and he's big into
uh,
developing players. And some of the players that he coached now are playing
yeah.
professional soccer, including one
Oh, good.
this one goalie is the backup goaltender for the Canadian national team. That he's from Saskatoon.
Hmm.
Great guy, and then he
Yeah,
brought him back, and they do professional camps. My kid got to go to the professional camps, and he met him, and he plays for the Vancouver
nice.
Whitecaps. So my kid has a Whitecaps jersey, and he signed a jersey. He's pretty pumped about that. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, so Saskatoon's going to get a professional team. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to get season
Nice.
tickets and
Of
try to
course. You
check that
should. You
out.
should.
So
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, it's kind of
Maybe you will see some Barcelona, players that they quit playing here. They go to Saskatoon.
oh yeah, like it is
Yeah,
guys. Like it's a step below like where Barcelona is,
yeah.
but or a couple steps, but they come from somewhere. All these kids,
No, indeed, indeed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they
Exactly,
could get
exactly. Yeah,
developed. Maybe they stay for a couple years and they move up,
yeah,
and maybe yeah, those older guys like Jagger, they step down and they
yeah,
just want to play,
yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
all they want.
yeah, yeah. It's no, but the league in the Major League Soccer League, it's a quite competitive league. There's like
Yeah,
they got some teams down in the States, and some Barca guys are playing there now. So
I think it's a different sort of league, and I think it's a different option for some of these professional players. There's some good quality guys there, but it's a different than the the league systems that they have in Europe. It's sort of a different
yeah,
setup
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
the way they develop the players. And
You have to think that here in Europe, like the most powerful league, it's obviously the Premier League, in England,
yeah,
and then you have the Spanish and probably the Italian or
the
French league,
DEL
which are the
too, right?
most.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
German
the
league and
Bundesliga. It's called
Bundesliga. Thank you.
the
Yeah,
Bundesliga. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah, you have to think like pretty much every year on when they play the Champions League final, which is like the top league in Europe.
Yeah,
it's either a team from Spain or a team from England, you know. So
Yeah, often,
yeah,
very, very often
yeah,
actually. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so the MLS is a little bit different. Like it goes on the more of the North American model that, where
yeah.
they draft players and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
they,
It's a
they
little bit
also
different.
they also have many guys from Mexico or
Right.
Latin American countries that they play in that league. So, but
Yeah.
well, after all, if they have good crowds and good TV rates, they can pay money to players, and they
Yeah.
after the after they play Europe, then they play in the US or in Canada if they have teams.
Yeah.
So like Montreal, right? Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver.
And they divided it's kind of interesting. My friend was telling me they divided the territory up into different sort of teams. So Western Canada is the Vancouver Whitecaps territory. So
Yeah.
Saskatchewan's included in that. So they actually do development. So my friend, he
Mhm.
actually, at least he's worked with the Whitecaps in
Yeah.
developing. So they try to identify players, homegrown talent. That's where these guys came from, like these homegrown guys.
Yeah.
They have some talent and they kind of develop into the system and they eventually play for the Whitecaps and it's good for the sport and that's why we're getting like again a professional team here
Yeah,
to
yeah, perfect.
kind of
Good news,
encourage
man.
that homegrown talent
So somehow everything's not only focused on hockey, right? So there's also other
yeah.
sports stepping up, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it took a little while for me to come to terms with the fact that my one kid just did not want to play hockey at all.
yeah,
How do
yeah.
I relate to this
So
child
I have
who
a
doesn't want
question
to
for
play?
you after. I have a question for you. Then, are you going to send your kids to Notre Dame or
Yeah, we
no?
always ask that question. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think Notre Dame, first of all, it's changed a little bit. The reason why
yeah,
I went, though, was, I would say there's three reasons why people go. One is to play hockey or sports, elite sports. Secondly, is if they're bad kids, or kids in
yeah,
troubled
yeah.
homes or whatever it is. Parents just need to get them out. And a third were a lot of kids
Send
like
them
me.
there.
Yeah. Third were like kids like me. Or sometimes they're all three, but thirds are like kids from
Yeah,
small towns or whatever that need an alternative to school. And I didn't really
yeah.
enjoy my school back in my hometown. And there's a lot of people like
Okay.
that, small town Saskatchewan
Yeah.
kids, farm kids, that
Hmm.
like there's one school and that was it. They didn't have a choice of
Yeah.
going anywhere else. So we went there, and that's why I went. I went because I enjoyed hockey. I played it, but I was never an elite player.
Yeah.
Especially, I found that out as soon as I got there that I was never an elite player.
The
But
tryouts, right? In October. Yeah.
yeah, the high school is really good, and if it wasn't for the high school, I don't think I would have been able to go to university. I'm pretty sure I would not have been able to do that. So if my kids
Hmm.
want to go there, well, they have an alternative in school. Like Saskatoon's not a huge city, but there's lots of schools in town here.
Yeah.
They can go find their
You
own
can
path
pick it.
anywhere.
Yeah.
We can figure it out. So if they want to
Hmm.
be an elite player, like, and also the other part, Notre Dame's really big on the prep school type stuff. Like there's fewer
Yeah.
people there now than there were when we were
Oh,
there.
really? Wow, wow. Man, the,
Yeah.
the, the last time I was there, it was in 2005. It was like the 10-year reunion. I was there,
Okay. So like,
and
do you know how they doubled, they took their two rooms and then they took out the wall? They did that with one
uh,
room across the hall from
yeah,
me.
I can remember, Rob. I can
Yeah,
remember
so
now
there was
because
like four guys
yeah.
in each room. So it's eight guys and then they took out the walls, so six guys instead of eight guys.
Oh, okay,
Now I
okay.
think there's even four guys to what the rooms were when we were there. So there's
Yeah.
more space for the kids to be there.
Okay. Yeah,
So like
yeah.
we had eight people in those stupid little rooms. Like remember four
Yeah.
people in that each room. Like
Yeah,
I'm in a bedroom right now. It's
yeah.
barely smaller than the room that four people stayed in all year long.
Man,
So by
it's
taking out those walls, there's just room for fewer kids, right? But I
yeah,
think it
man.
makes for a better experience.
Space was everything at that time, man. Remember when we had to take the showers? I was like,
Oh,
you had to make, you had to
communal
wait on the line.
showers.
We had to wait on a queue, man, to take a shower like at 7:30 in the morning. Like everybody with a
S-
towel on.
Standing naked, waiting for it. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh,
And then,
it was brutal, man. That's terrible
oh,
kind of stuff. Like, at least I moved to residence in University of Saskatchewan, at least, and it was a dormitory, but at least we had our own individual shower stalls.
yeah, like
And two
like
people per room instead of four people per room.
you didn't have to wait for like 10 or 15 minutes to shower, right?
And
Getting
getting
maybe
cold. And,
yeah, oh
oh,
man.
and don't
Maybe
drop the
getting
soap.
worried.
Ah, drop the
Yeah,
soap.
yeah,
Ah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
Maybe
my
getting
God.
worried that you're not gonna get late to assembly, man, and you're gonna get some type of workout or something.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. So yeah, I think there's fewer kids there too. So I don't know if I would send
Yeah,
my kid there, but if
yeah.
they'd want to, I would. And it's also a lot more expensive than when I went. You always paid like you would have paid a lot more than we did. Like Saskatchewan people got a discount,
Okay, okay, yeah.
but you would have
Makes
had.
sense.
You were
Yeah,
on bursary though too, I think, weren't you? Like I think you had a bit of a
yeah, yeah,
bursary,
yeah.
so you had to do the extra jobs like I would have had to done.
Yeah, you mean like the whole well the work the when we had to do varsity jobs in the kitchen or
Well,
in
I'm
the rink,
talking of like the
so
rink rat. There's a rink job, help
yeah,
out,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
and
did
there's
that.
also
I think it was my last year. Yeah, yeah. It
yeah.
helped a little bit the budget, right? It wasn't that you
Yeah, they
had
give
some
you a few
discount or it
thousand
was a
bucks
little bit
off
cheaper.
if you were
Yeah,
doing a little extra labor, which a lot of guys did.
yeah,
And a lot of actually hockey,
yeah,
like the top elite players, would have they all did it because that was a way
yeah,
for them to get their sort of scholarship, if you
yeah,
will. So
yeah. Hmm.
it's yeah, I don't know. Would you send your daughter there if she wanted to go?
Well, I obviously it's difficult, yeah, because uh, my main was for hockey, right? Because
Yeah,
for
right.
me it was like hockey, like paradise
Yeah,
and but for my daughter, yeah, I mean, she will go somewhere like uh,
yeah.
like I like I mean when she's 14 or 15 for sure we're gonna send her somewhere so she starts to speak in English and to be
English,
involved.
that's a big one.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for
yeah, yeah.
sure. And then she
But
just yeah.
not Saskatchewan.
No,
Nothing wrong
that's a
against
little bit
Saskatchewan,
far away.
right? Nothing wrong with that, man.
She'd have to
But
be a heck
yeah,
of a hockey player right
yeah,
now
yeah,
to
yeah,
be doing that, and I don't think she is.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. So who
yeah,
knows?
I don't know. It's
But
always a question we always ask each other when we run to house. Would you send your kids there? I don't know.
yeah, and so some people they have it very clear and say yes, I will send my kid or my daughter, but some other guys
Yeah,
is like no, no, no. I mean, it's not on the plan. No, it's not
I,
on
I
the
believe it,
family.
but I believe it's changed though. Like from when we went there, I think it's a lot easier on first year students, and
Yeah.
it's. I talked to Bob Baumler. He was my house leader
Mm.
my first year. I don't think you
Hmm.
were around when he was there, but he's a nice guy. But he's a teacher there now, and his kid actually
Uh-huh.
went to school there too. And he actually married Tamara Andre, who was in
Okay.
my class, I think.
Yeah.
And I had a nice chat with him at the last reunion, and he said, "Yeah, one thing
Hmm.
you don't say there anymore is suck it up. You're not
Yeah.
allowed to say that. You can't say it to a
Hmm.
kid, suck it up, because like
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
children, and it's tough and it's confusing. It's a tough enough time in your life as it is, let
Yeah.
alone be sent away and being with all these strangers away from mom and
Ex-
dad. Like you don't just suck
Yeah.
it up. Like it's you help the
Yeah.
kids out.
But
So
Rob, imagine now Notre Dame in the dorm with a cell phone and internet, and I would be like, it's like insane, man. When we were there,
yeah,
because man, when I was there, well, you were there also too, but man, I had like a two collect calls to my parents like a month, man. It was
yeah. That was it.
like that was crazy,
Yeah.
like
Well, you used
man,
to
the
write
not
letters to your friends. I don't know if you did.
yeah,
You write
yeah,
letters, and
yeah,
that took
yeah,
forever. If your
dude,
friends
man.
took the time.
Dude, when we were there going to the post office, it was like going to like a big club or going to like a
It's like
vacation.
Santa
It's like
Claus. Like, oh my god, I
yeah,
got a
yeah.
letter. Oh my god, it's great.
Exactly, man. It was like every time that you got a letter from a family or a
Yeah,
package, it was like you win the lottery, man. It was like, man,
brutal.
I got a package. I just got a package, man. Or a letter, and everybody likes me, man. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No, it's crazy to think about those times though, and I told this to Tucker too. Yeah, I was never very happy there. I think I was very, very homesick all the time, and I think
Oh,
even
were you?
more than I
Yeah.
realized afterwards, and I
Okay.
felt very insecure about being
Yeah.
there. And
Mm-hmm.
but going back to my reunion, first the 20-year reunion, that's the first one I
Yeah.
went to.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it was amazing. Actually, it felt really good to see everybody again, and
Of
realize
course.
I did actually have more friends than I think I realized, and
Yeah.
it was
Exactly, man.
and so I look back because up to that point I was kind of really nervous, but then now I kind of look
Yeah.
back a little bit differently and I say, it was a tough place, but
Yeah.
it did also it was formative for my development,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm more willing to go talk to people from Notre Dame and like, share the
Yeah.
experience. And I talked to
Mm-hmm.
I should tell you they're probably listening right now, I'm sure, to the
Mm-hmm.
recording, but Dwayne Shapka
Yeah.
and Candace Fraser. Now
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
kind
They're
of
my
sharing.
class. Yeah. Yeah. They're from my
Yeah,
class.
we go for lunch every so often. They're both in
Oh, nice.
Saskatoon, so we still
Nice.
say hi.
Nice.
And then Dwayne, I
Yeah.
told Dwayne that I saw that Johnny showed I talked to you in camera, and he's like, "Oh my god, you gotta do a
Yeah,
podcast with him." And then, like,
you know,
so I
you
know,
know,
yeah, totally.
we also talked to Jordan Landry. Remember him?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Johnny call him. Yeah, yeah. And then we talked to Vannon also, to Jeremy Vannon.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because they're close friends, with Johnny, and
yeah.
then we also talked to Beth. Remember Beth Capos? Beth,
I'm trying to
she's from Vancouver.
think.
She's
Who?
from Vancouver. Beth Capos. Yeah, she's very close friends with Jade, and
Maybe I do. I don't know. I gotta look that up. I should
yeah,
have brought my thing.
Tamara Doyle, and
Well, yeah, I
the
know Tamara and Jade and all them. Was she in our class too, or your class in
yeah, yeah,
grade
yeah,
12?
she was in my class, the year
Yeah,
younger.
Jade went to university in Saskatoon for a bit, so I saw
Yeah,
her a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. For my work, I have I have a conference every year in Vegas.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So the year before COVID, I had the conference in Vegas,
yeah.
and then after the conference, I stayed for like 2 weeks, and then I went I called Brent. Remember Brent Tyler, Spud?
Oh yeah, yeah. I like.
Yeah,
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 he's,
yeah.
he's in Bakersfield or something, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
a couple
yeah,
hours
yeah. I
away
went
from
to
Vegas.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He lives in Bakersfield, so I went to LA, and then I rented a car, and then I drove to Bakersfield,
Yeah.
and then I spent the weekend with him and his family, man. So it was very nice to hang out with the Spot there for a few days,
Oh, that
and
guy.
then I drove back to LA, and then I got together with Jade, and then
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah, and
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, yeah, we went out for dinner. So yeah, it was
She's
very nice
beautiful.
to yeah,
It still
yeah.
looks great. Good for her.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it
no,
was
but I like guys like Johnny Cameron. And he gets kind of cynical about Notre Dame and stuff like that. And he kind of plays like the too cool guy, but he does stay in
yeah.
touch with lots of people. Like
Oh yeah, man.
like after the 20-year reunion, he says, "I come to Saskatoon all the time." I was like, "Well, look me up. I'm here." And
Of
so
course.
now every time he's in town, he just gives me a quick shout. We go for have lunch or go for a drink if
Of
he's in
course. That's a
Maine or
good
whatever it
call.
is.
Yeah.
And even if he can't, he says sends a text and
Yeah, yeah. It's
just
a, it's a
says,
very reachable guy, So for
you
sure,
know,
if you
and
have a
that's
chance to,
I really appreciate it. And he's just the same guy, and he's so good.
yeah,
So he's
yeah, yeah. You know what's funny with Johnny, that like maybe once or every 2 months that I get an email from him that he sends me some friend from Vancouver coming to Barcelona, man. So I always
totally.
have, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I have I have the Canadian flag on my balcony, man, like the Canadian embassy in Barcelona, man. So it's like so yeah,
Oh, that
yeah,
guy. What a cheeky
yeah,
bastard. I love that so much. That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
funny. Well, I think we're gonna definitely okay, when I figure out our plans and when time of year, I'll let you know well in advance.
Sure, man.
And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Barcelona's gonna be one of our stops on our European adventure. I
Yeah.
think for
Or
sure.
or or if you need any tip or anything about any city, let me
Yeah.
know, man. Because for my job, I get to travel quite often. So yeah, like I
Oh,
said,
okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I didn't tell you before you asked me, and my job now is I work for a company in Taiwan, and
Oh,
I sell fitness products on television, like TV
oh,
shopping.
oh, really?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Do
yeah.
you really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That's
I
awesome.
drive sales in Europe, like European countries,
Sure.
and then also Latin America for obviously the language, the
The
Spanish.
language, yeah, yeah.
So I
That's so cool.
yeah, yeah, like TV shopping, like in Canada you have a company like TC, like the shopping channel, right?
Sure.
TC.
Yeah.
So that would be like my type of customer. They sell a product on TV. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's my type of business now. So
so yeah, so you get to a bit of travel a little bit, and you get to see, you get to know what's going on in the world, I guess. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you might be a travel agent. That's what you could be, a little bit of a
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
provide
Yeah,
some
yeah.
advice for that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. So on Saturday I'm flying to Amsterdam because to the Netherlands because
okay,
next week I have a conference there, like a
yeah.
TV
Oh,
shopping conference. So
hey, that's cool.
so yeah, yeah. I'm really looking forward for it, man. Because with the COVID, man, for the past 2 years we haven't been able to do anything pretty much. I
And for
think
a guy
that
like yourself who really likes this,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
engagement, right? Like that
is
must
it
have been
going
very
and
difficult for you, like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
yeah,
it's not the same to pitch a product and to do a sale like on Zoom or by telephone. Then
yeah,
getting, the chance to talk to a guy next to you
And you also
showing.
you like to get to know people too, right? And that's kind of the
Yeah,
thing. You like to talk to them a little bit and develop
exactly.
relationships, right? Like
Yeah,
that's such
yeah.
a
So
important part
true.
of
Yeah,
sales is that
yeah.
relationship, right? Like it's a product is
To
one
yap,
thing,
to
but you
yap,
want to
man.
a
To
product
yap,
should
right?
be able to sell itself, but it doesn't. Like they need good people to build those relationships
Exactly,
to
exactly.
help
Yeah,
move
yeah,
product, right? So I definitely get
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well,
So
okay,
yeah.
I think I have to work now. I think we're into my work time. Sorry, boss.
Okay, Ron, man, we can go forever here, man. You have to invite me for a second round, man. So
I
we can
think
keep
no,
chatting,
but
man. Yeah.
seriously, we'll reconnect again. Um,
Yeah, thank you, man. It
Whenever you
was very
want, to be
nice.
honest.
Appreciate
But
it, man. Thanks for taking me, man. And it
yeah,
was very, very nice to see you, man. Thanks to Johnny, man. We were able to connect after so long, and
Johnny Seats. I know Van is watching this
yeah,
stupid
yeah.
thing here too.
You know what, Rob? I don't know if next
Shopska,
year,
Candace,
yeah,
hi.
I, I don't know if next year they're gonna have the Notre Dame reunion because apparently I had mine in 2020, but everything got canceled for the
You
new
would have
COVID,
that would have been your
So
25th anniversary. Yeah, I went the year
exactly,
before, and
yeah,
I'm glad I went. There wasn't a lot of us there for that year, but
yeah,
yeah, and that was the 100-year anniversary too for Notre Dame as well
yeah.
too. So I don't know if they're gonna do something again, but if you do
Well, they
come,
should.
let me know.
Yeah, yeah, man. I hope they put this together next year because man, I was gonna
Yeah.
make that trip and apparently everything got canceled.
Well, your
But
next
there's
big one to be in 2025, I guess. So that'd be your third year if you can think about that.
well, I hope we make it there, right? We're
Yeah,
still alive.
yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely will do every 5 years. But honestly, if some guys are coming down
yeah,
for the reunion I haven't seen for a while too, like for me, it's about 2.5 hour drive, and I can always take a weekend off and just
yeah. Just
even a
make the
night.
trip,
I can
right?
go down, just spend a night and spend have some because we usually do 2 nights and it's pretty wild.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
that'd be good to see you there if or anybody really if you guys go down there.
yeah.
Give me a dingle. I might. It's asking
Not just
permission.
only,
That's all I need is
yeah,
asking.
yeah. I mean, not just only the chance to see obviously your friends from class, but also the teachers, and
Yeah,
some people.
it,
I don't know
yeah.
if there's still many from our age, but because
They
I
go, a
don't
lot of
know.
them that are retired. They still go to the reunions. So
Okay, okay,
like
yeah,
Alice is retired, but she'll be there. Ramona,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sully, he was at the last one.
I
He was
talked,
retired.
I talked to Ramona because yeah, unfortunately Pat passed away last year,
Yeah,
right? So yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think a
So
lot of them they come like for them it's their home as well too, and so they see it as a reunion, an opportunity to go visit their friends as well too. So
uh, yeah.
yeah, the teachers are always good to see. Terry O'Malley, he's
Hmm.
always been there, for example. And actually, that's a guy I want to get on my podcast. I reached out to him, but I didn't get a response.
Yeah, really,
I'm not sure if he's
wow.
on Facebook too much, but I might just contact the college directly and say,
Hmm.
hey, I want to talk to
Or or, may,
Terry for an
or
hour.
maybe you can try LinkedIn. I don't know if it's connected or
Maybe.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I bet you
One-
I just phone the college. They would have his number and they would
Oh yeah,
get in
yeah.
touch with him.
You can get in touch with him. Yeah,
Or
of
the
course.
alumni
Yeah,
association, they would have that. So,
of course, of course.
um, anyways, yeah. So we're gonna reconnect.
Hey Rob,
I'm gonna
appreciate
go
it. Thank
apply
you
my
very
trip to
much,
Europe,
man.
and I'm gonna
Okay.
call you again in a few
Hey,
months when I'm doing it.
I hope you're not a yapper, man. You're real on this story, man. So I will have to call your wife and send him this audio that you said you will come to Europe, right? So you have
Yeah,
more
no, that's fine.
excuses
I don't
now.
mind. I want now I'm set. Here I go.
Yeah, yeah,
Now
of
we're
course.
set. It's too late. My wife might be mad at me, but
Yeah,
we're going. No, she wants to go too. So,
yeah. You go to
um,
Barcelona and we go to see some museums. And we go eat some tapas and
yeah, tapas.
maybe
Start with
we go
that.
to the beach to the Costa Brava, which is like an hour from
Oh,
here.
I
And
better start working out.
we
Gotta get
can
my
go to
bikini bod going
yeah
for you there.
we can go to a nude beach or so we can
I should
do
find out.
anything.
I should get on some of your exercise equipment and start.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah, of
should be
course,
doing,
man.
right? So,
Get on the treadmill. Yeah, of course. You know what? I'm in better shape now than when I used to when I was in Notre Dame, man.
really?
It's crazy. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, you look good. You look better than I do. That's
Thanks,
for
man.
sure.
You too. No, no, you man. You look good, good.
No, no.
Yeah, you too. You are. Yeah,
We
yeah.
both got good hair, which is also good.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
we don't have much going for us, but we have our hair. So
we don't
that's
have
good.
the lettuce. We don't have the hockey lettuce, man. We're okay. I have to play your beer also. I have to play your beer, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm ready for the game tonight. Are you gonna watch the game tonight? Well,
uh,
tonight for you. Yeah,
yeah,
for me.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I took because I'm a Flames fan. I actually took the Western Conference
So
off.
you
I
go for
didn't
the
want to
Avs
watch the
then?
Oilers. I didn't want to watch the Oilers at all after
Oh
that
man,
game.
that was nobody. Well, I wasn't expecting that Colorado swept them in 4 games, man, because they had Connor and
Oilers, they
oh
weren't that strong of a team. Calgary just played extraordinarily poorly though. Like the
yeah,
goaltending
yeah,
was
yeah,
terrible. Like
yeah,
McDavid was unreal. But honestly, they don't have a lot of depth. And then with Draisaitl being hurt, it's like, well,
yeah,
Colorado was going to kill him.
yeah,
I think with the emotion with the Flames and Oilers playing, like they
yeah,
do not like each other, and there was a lot of emotion. I think it really affected both their games. It wasn't good hockey. It was exciting hockey, but it wasn't very good
yeah.
hockey. But
So what's
Colorado
your take?
is pretty
What's your
good.
takeaway for the? What's your takeaway for the final? Who are you?
Well, here's about Tampa Bay. They beat Florida. No, they beat
Yeah,
Toronto,
Toronto. Yeah, yeah, in the first
then
round, exactly.
Florida,
Yeah,
and then they beat a really good
game
Rangers
seven,
team.
right? In 7
Yeah,
games, right? Yeah, yeah,
Tampa is good,
man.
and got
Yeah,
that Notre
yeah,
Dame
yeah.
hound coaching, John Cooper.
Very exactly.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
Colorado is awesome, but and then Vasilevsky might be the difference maker in that series. Just he's that
yeah,
good of a goaltender. Kemper
yeah.
is not good, but Cale Makar is probably the best player
Man, I know,
in the
I know, I
finals.
know,
So
man. The guy's unreal, and I watch the playoffs because I have the NHL
yeah,
app so I can watch the games.
yeah,
And man, I stayed up till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and sometimes when the Canucks play, like even 4 in the morning on the
yeah,
weekends.
yeah.
But but to be honest with you, like watching Colorado play, like they play another type of
Yeah,
pace, man. Like with McKinnon and Makar, it's just like those guys are unreal, man.
they
I
are,
mean,
and they got a lot of depth, and they're
yeah,
so like God.
they,
Makar is amazing. Like he's the best. He's so good. I
yeah.
think
It's
people
just
realize how good that guy is. And McKinnon is just
it's just too bad they don't have Kadri now, because he got injured on that first game, right?
and he's out. I think he's out, isn't he? Is he out?
Yeah, it's like on the day to day. Yeah, yeah. I don't think he's playing today though. Maybe game 2 or game 3, who knows? So.
I don't really like Kadri, but he's an effective player.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's a playoff guy, man. So like
Yeah, he gets a little rambunctious. I think that's the best way
yeah,
for him. Like he goes over the top a little bit sometimes. I think that's why he gets all
yeah,
those penalties. He's not
yeah.
like who was that idiot that hit him?
It was you mean
Oh,
before Kane? Yeah,
Kane.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The Kane's
yeah, yeah.
he's just a plain jerk. I think Kadri just
Oh man,
I think he's a little bit too exuberant and he goes
it was
overboard.
it was a good fit for the Oilers, man. You had some goals for them, guys. Yeah, yeah.
They'll take anything, those guys. But
Yeah.
anyways,
But it was.
we'll be in
Okay.
touch, and I'm
Hey
gonna
Rob,
shut her
man.
off here
Hey,
right now.
I
Thanks
appreciate
a
it, man.
lot. Don't go anywhere, but
In Catalan we say moltes gracias. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
oh,
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, yeah.
muchas gracias.
Moltes gracias. Yeah, moltes
Muchas
gracias.
gracias.
Moltes gracias. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
it's
Senor Anglada, you're just a gem of
maybe
a man.
hopefully maybe next time we see each other we have a beer, man, and we shoot the shit, man. So after so long, so.